bunch of old papers, some dating back. Hello, it's Jared Tyler McBride. It's December 10th, 2012. It's roughly 8 a.m. in the morning. I got out of work about an hour ago and I finally got a chance to wind down. And I've been playing this for a while, and I haven't had much time. I've been dealing with a lot of different stuff, trying to get my fight thing together and all that. But this is basically the first of many videos that's going to be in a series of videos, and it's basically, I'm going to entitle them 3-entity Equilibrium, which is basically a culmination of everything I've been working on since age 13 until now. I was looking through my notes, which you know, from looking at it like this, it doesn't look like much. It's just a bunch of old papers, some dating back as far as 2005, and this one is from 2003, which I found all these individual papers and put them together, and they come from exercise program when I was in cross country. A lot of these I just took from practices and put them together to help me mainly increase my endurance, because at that time I had asthma, and my main concern was increasing my lung capacity, because I felt at that time I couldn't afford martial arts, so I was trying to do as many free programs as I could in school, where I did wrestling, basketball, track, to make me stronger so that I could do martial arts at one time. So a lot of these notes were based on that. And then later, into my 15s, I got rid of my asthma, which may or may not have been due to those exercise programs, but I got rid of it, and then I was able to start studying more within books and stuff like that. But to summarize what I'm trying to do in the 3-entity Equilibrium program, like I said before, the generic mind, body, and soul, is to look at each individual part and come up with a daily schedule that I can kind of incrementally increase those every month. So how do you measure the soul? How do you measure if your brain or your mind is getting better, or how your body's getting better? The mind and body is a little bit more simple, but how do you measure the soul? So what psychology has taught me, which has helped me, which was what I was missing in this other program, was the statistic analysis and experimental constructs to use to measure the progress of those things. So looking back at some of my notes, this is one of the main ones, is you can measure things like speed, which this graph is talking about the measurement of speed and flexibility. That's what these little symbols mean. And when you're talking about speed, you're talking about two variables. You're talking about distance and time. Okay? And when we talk about these variables and we put them together, it equals speed. So that ideal, which I understood at that time, helps you to measure improvement and progress, especially of your own progress and the comparative progress of myself or someone else, or other things like that. So that's simple. All these things, it's basically a graph, a star graph, which they will be color coded, but it measures all these components, physical and performance components, okay, which I'll probably go over in another video. But anyway, that's what I will be measuring, and I'll show you that and explain that of how I can measure my progress. Okay, but anyway, getting back to the Equilibrium 3-Equilibrium program, I kind of got more understanding when I was talking to my teacher, Mung Fu, when I was training in Clyde recently, and I'm kind of leaning towards becoming part of their MMA team, because they think about martial arts more as more as a philosophical and a lifestyle, more than I'm just going there to practice like it's a sport, which I enjoy. So when I was talking to Mung Fu, Sensei Fu, he was talking about the will, the cycle of will and training, how how do you become most efficient in increasing your techniques and skills without going overboard. That's the gist of what we're talking about. And the conversation really, made me reflect and think back to when I was trying to figure out that before I even got into martial arts. So that's kind of why I'm doing this again. So in I guess in an indirect way, it kind of helped me get back into that mode of thinking. And it's going to organize not only my physical training with my martial arts and stuff, but also some studying I've been working on. I've been trying to learn several languages, and I had a difficult time. The main one I've been learning recently is Japanese, but I also want to get back into learning Spanish, which I took 4 years in college. I want to get better at that, and I want to improve on all these things every day. I don't want to just do one thing at a time, which seems like it would be easier, but I want to learn it, collectively every day and work towards it and have it scheduled and efficient. So this is basically what the 3 Equilibrium program is about. Okay, so a few things to note. There's the main one is what I think is most helpful to me, and that might be helpful to you. And I want to hear your opinions about this. Is Piaget's, which I believe is Piaget's ideal of when you learn and you have a new experience, what do you go through? Okay, so you go through 3 things. You go through assimilation. So I'm going to use martial arts as an example because that's basically what my channel is about, but it's going to revolve around everything. You have a new experience. Like when I first went in Taekwondo, that's my first style. I didn't know martial arts before that, besides books. And when a teacher taught me, I copied off everything he did. I wanted to be just like him. I wanted to do the techniques just like him. And I didn't have any ideal or experience outside of what he was doing to dilute that. So I was filtered, I had a very narrow tunnel and vision towards what he was doing. So I would only do that. So that's the first thing you're going to do. You're going to copy off something. Okay? Then accommodation happens. When you accommodate something, you start to look at it and you change it to go about your own, personal way, according to, who you are as a person in Thai. So after, learning from others and getting a bunch of experience, assimilating from others and stuff, I wanted to do it my way. So I started to change certain techniques, and then once you do that, this is what happens, and it's called equilibration or equilibrium, whatever. You try your mind has to, figure out the opposing ideals. You have the traditional way of thinking, and you have this new way of thinking. So those two forces oppose each other. So what you have to do to make it balance is you have to neutralize what's not working. If these two things don't work either way, you're gonna destroy it. So that's basically what those 3 things mean to me, when you learn. So that's really important to understand if you're progressing or not. You don't hold on to things you don't need. This probably been preached 1,000 times, but this is how I understand it. So that's one of the first things I wanted to say. I have this other thing that I created, which was based on Howard Gardner's 7 or 8 intelligences. His intelligence kind of go up and down, but basically the whole idea of what he was creating was he thought that everyone had their own intelligence, or everyone was in different levels or experience levels in their intelligence. So like some people were good at basketball, or some people were good at art, which you would call spatial, and some people were good at math, So every person had their own thing that they were good at, and to get better, you would have to know where you fit in and what you would need to do to improve it. So I kind of enjoyed that ideal and concept of that, because it kind of made, the process of thinking more malleable, than most teachers would tell you. So I came up with this thing called the 6 relations, which is based off of that. Okay, so these 6 relations, which you can kind of see in this chart, it's probably difficult to see. They intertwine, they interact with each other, and this is basically what I'm going to use when I'm studying every day. Those 6 relations are really going to help me organize my ideals and thoughts, so I can do studies every day and improve in every one of them.